Peter, can you hear me?
I can, thank you.
Okay, Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder is on the phone from Jefferson City. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you, Ed, for having me, and it's an honor to be on with my a lady I revere and once studied for the bar exam with, Phyllis Schlafly, and my friend Bill Hennessy, that I got to know over the last 18 months. On the 7th of July last summer, I went to the Rush H. Limbaugh Federal Courthouse in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, my hometown, named after Mr. Rush Sr., and filed a constitutional challenge against Obamacare. Our case is to be distinguished from the cases that we're cheering on in Florida and Virginia, both of which have won at the trial level. Those two cases are cases brought by states acting as states. And our case is different in that I never purported in my constitutional challenge to sue as the state of Missouri, because it's clear that I, as Lieutenant Governor, could not necessarily bring that lawsuit. Mine, therefore, differs in that I want to reiterate, God bless the Attorney General of those states for bringing those cases, and I hope they make it all the way to the Supreme Court. But given the fact that they are suing as states, they're bringing relatively abstract legal arguments before the court, centering on the Commerce Clause and the individual mandate, and those legal issues and crucial constitutional issues are implicated in my constitutional challenge certainly as well. But mine differs in two respects. First of all, it is Peter Kinder as an individual citizen of our state and acting in my capacity as Lieutenant Governor, joined by 5 other individual citizens of Missouri in 3 different categories who each say this federal health control law is going to diminish and ruin our health care and result in less health care and lower quality health care for us individuals. And so I talked to many people nationally and did again last week when I made a swing through CPAC, and they say that our case is really the unique case in the country that puts a human face on many of these arguments. We're very excited about it. We've been assured of having funding to go all the way. We did not. I will leave you to your own judgment about my luck in drawing and where the wheel stopped when I drew a judge who used to be Dick Gephardt's chief of staff. But we all know that we're headed for the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals right there in St. Louis, no matter which side does not prevail. We're headed there, and that is arguably the most conservative of all the circuit courts of appeal, and we like our chances there on our way to the Supreme Court. And I want to say one other thing. I was invited by the Federalist Society, a good group of conservative legal scholars at Columbia University, to debate this lawsuit on their campus, and I made that trip the Monday after the November election, November 8th. And while I was there, I was invited to take the train down to New Haven and debate it also at Yale. And Yale turned out to be the better of the two clashes, because my debate prep guys in D.C., set up by the Federalist Society the Friday before, they said, at Yale, you're going up against the #1 academic defender of Obamacare in the country, Professor Jack Balkin, who, by the way, is a Missourian. He is a tenured professor at Yale Law. He's from Kansas City. And we had a wonderful clash that is available on email. The audio is 80 minutes for anybody who really wants to hear a good civil discussion and a good argument. Professor Balkin made remarkable concessions during the Q&A about how flawed this law is. I stressed the torturing of the legal process that they did to pass it. But I made one point there that has not been made very often, and I'll conclude with this. And that is that in the period prior to the American Revolution, you recall we learned in grade school, and I don't know if they still do, I hope they still do, about the Stamp Acts. The Stamp Acts were in 1774, so this is 2 years before the Declaration of Independence, making what I'm about to tell you an aboriginal principle of the American founding. The Stamp Acts were, the colonists responded to the Stamp Acts and to the Intolerable Acts, they deemed, the same year, with a boycott of British goods. Do you recall? They boycotted British goods. Now, the legal advisor to the king and to Parliament advised the king that the British colonists in North America were within their rights to boycott the purchase of British goods. That is, the King of England could not compel us to buy a product. So fast forward to 2010, with their torturing of the legislative process, they're ramming this misbegotten law through over all reasonable objections and facts and fair argument on a party line basis. We have a president, a Speaker of the House, and a Senate Majority Leader arrogating to themselves a power that the King of England did not have over us when we were his subjects. I went on to say that, Professor Balkin, I really believe you need to go back to the pharaohs of Egypt or the sultans and the emperors of the Far East to find an absolute monarch who claims such a power. That's the heart of my argument, but we put a human face on it with our constitutional challenge, and I'm under fierce attack, something Phyllis is familiar with. This has made me that much more of a target from the left, but I'm in this battle for the long haul, and I thank you for allowing me to share with you tonight.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Kinder, for taking the time tonight. We're sorry that the schedule changed and you couldn't be here, and we will, if we want to find that debate with Professor Balkin, did you say where is it on? Is it on the Federalist Society website, or where would it be?
You can call my office at 800-699-2377, and we'll email it to you.
Okay.
I think it's also up on teamkinder.com.
Okay.
And it may be on my Facebook page. Friend me on Facebook, and you'll be able to find it.
All right. Okay? We'll track it down. Thank you for taking the time tonight, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.